Right, we're at Shawford station, so follow me. We'll have a look round the village and all the lovely things that are here. So what are we hoping to see today? Well, we're going to have a walk along the river, see the little village and the bridges, and yeah, have a good old look around. It's a fantastic day. As we exit the station, we are at the railway arch, which was the site of Victor Meldrew's fictional TV demise. The cantankerous lead character of the popular 90s BBC sitcom One Foot in the Grave was the victim of a hit-and-run driver back in the year 2000 in the show's dramatic finale. For some time after, fans of the show even left bunches of flowers at the scene. Walking past the splendid Bridge Inn, let's have a quick look at the old mill building. But just before is a benchmark carved into a GPO concrete marker. Benchmarks define elevation. Looking at old maps, these are shown as a broad arrow, and this one has been measured at 86.2 feet above mean sea level. Okay, we've just joined the footpath by the bridge going through the village. What we're going to do is walk along. This is heading north, sort of in the Winchester direction. Yeah, once we get out into the sunshine, I think we'll really enjoy it. Just a quick description for the Itchen Navigation, just in case you haven't seen any of my other videos. The navigation was built as a way of taking barge traffic from Southampton to Winchester and back. We used to carry coal, wood, stone, all those sort of things. But its demise came with the railways, because the railways were just so much quicker and easier and could carry so much more. On the opposite side of the navigation, there's some lovely houses up there. In fact, you can probably see my house in the distance. Well, I say my house, I haven't actually bought it yet, but who knows? Keep doing the lottery, eh? It's one of the concrete markers that you find along the navigation. Just acts as an old milepost, really, and a little description about where it goes to, what it used to carry. So if you ever wondered where ducks go to on holiday, this is where they go. And to be honest, you can't blame them, can you? Beautiful river, lovely clear water, lots of grass, and no dogs over on that side. Yeah, I think if I was a duck, I'd be happy to go there myself.
We'll keep walking along the towpath because very soon we'll be coming to Compton Lock.
Compton Lock originally allowed barges to rise or lower as any modern lock does, but has been out of use as a lock for a very long time, a weir being built to replace the top lock gate. As it was always a turf-sided lock, it has eroded over the years into an almost circular, shallow area. Because the crystal clear water is constantly flowing, it makes a perfect dog dip, and timber stairs have been provided to enable getting into and out of easier. Of course, it is also a very popular, if unofficial, spot for people to also bathe. It's an ideal cooling off place to be on a warm summer's day.
Right, we'll leave Compton Lock just for the moment. We'll catch up with the river again later on, but there's other things to see. Right, we're going to take a little walk through this brick archway into a field known as Compton Place, which is it goes back an awfully long way. Although there's nothing left of it now, there were medieval buildings and a Tudor house, so there's also something else to look at as we get to the end. Right, the lumps and bumps that you can see all around this field are the remains of the medieval village. It's been well documented, but you wouldn't believe it if you just walk through here. You just think it's a lumpy old field. Anyway, eventually this will take you towards Winchester, but we're not going to go that far. There's something up in the hedge line I'm hoping we can get a glimpse of, and I'll explain when we get there. Right, well, this is a little disappointing. I was hoping to show you the old original bridge where the Winchester bypass came under. Unfortunately, it's been a few years since I've been here, and it's overgrown a lot since then. But I think I might be able to find an old picture to put up to show you what it was like some years ago. Obviously, when they built the M3, they abandoned the old Winchester bypass, and they basically filled in the bed. They left the railway bridge because there wasn't any point in demolishing it, but they bulldozed a lot of stuff into it. So even from the early days, there was very little you could do. It's almost impossible to believe that it was here now. Okay, we've left the field and back on the path again, and we're just coming underneath the railway bridge. Yeah, I'll have a look at the old Winchester bypass bridge from the other end, but I doubt if we'll be able to see anything. It was quite overgrown last time. Pretty much as I thought, what I said earlier, you can't see anything of the bridge abutment now with the trees and the bushes, but you'll have to take my word for it that just to the left of where that tree trunk comes out, that's where the Winchester bypass went underneath. And again, there's nothing really to see, but if we have a look across, I can show you more or less where it ran. So where that tree line is, and there's a little house on the top of the hill, it kind of went to the right, so more or less followed where that tree line is. I mean, that is now where the M3 is, of course, but where the M3 diverted further off to the west, and it abandoned the old bypass. Now, I'm doing another video in the near future on Compton, which is the next village along, and I do have a couple of photographs of the old Winchester bypass, so look out for that. If you subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that, and you'll also be notified when anything new comes up. There's no cost whatsoever, it just means that you'll get a notification when something new is there. And if you like what you're seeing so far, I would appreciate a like as well. It helps me to grow the channel and produce more of this type of thing, and I appreciate it if you could do that. Thank you.
We're back at the village now, where the station southbound entrance is. As well as One Foot in the Grave mentioned earlier, Shawford station also featured in the 1974 remake of the classic British film Brief Encounter, that featured Sophia Loren and Richard Burton, a story where they accidentally met on a railway station platform. There is a red postbox and a classic English telephone box, although this one no longer has a phone but contains a defibrillator, which is a fantastic reuse of one. Further along is the former Shawford Mission Hall, built in 1892, and then a couple of shops before we rejoin the Itchen Navigation towpath, this time heading south.
It's rather a better, well-made footpath, as it feeds these delightful cottages on the right. There's some beautiful places, you know, roses round the door, proper English country style. Yeah, and well done to the people for keeping it so nice. Right, the path curves round to the right here and joins a little road that goes underneath the railway. But we're going to carry on to the left and follow the navigation for a little bit further. Not sure how clear the camera shows it, but you'll find the navigation actually dips down in places with quite a bank on both sides, and this was of course because it used to be a navigation for boats, but now all the locks are gone. It flows at a much shallower level. It obviously is the river in parts, and in other parts it's separate, hence navigation and not a canal. Got an interesting history. It's well worth looking it up if you're not sure of it. If you live around Shawford or Twyford, Compton, and you come down this way quite often, let me know in the comments which is your favourite part. Right, towpath crosses over to the other side here. Let's have a little look. Rather nice, isn't it? How about that then? I find the water, the navigation, the Itchen River, very clear. Short stream, only short stream. And the water flows more or less all year as it comes out the short rises. Right, this is as far along the navigation or the river that I'm going to go to today. But don't go away just yet, because I'm going to be marching up Shawford down to get a good view over the village from a high point. If you fancy walking all or part of the navigation, Shawford's a good place to start or finish, because if you don't want to walk it all, you can get the train here and walk back to either Winchester or Eastleigh, which are good places to park the car. Or of course you can do it the other way around. Park here, walk as far as you like, walk back. Or if you can get as far as Eastleigh or Winchester, get the train back. Pretty good day out. Right, we're back on the west side of the railway line now, and we will shortly be, I say we, I mean I'm going to be walking up to the top of Shawford Down. Now, that might not be much for you, but with my hips and knees, I think it's not something I'm looking forward to. But anyway, I won't necessarily film on the way up, because I'll be so out of breath, I won't be able to speak anyway. But I'll meet you up there at the top. Right, here we go. Start of the big climb. Up we go. Technically, I'm not right at the top of the hill, but this is where the monument for the First and Second World Wars are. I think this is an appropriate place to have a rest. Now, in the distance, you can see the houses of Shawford. You can't see much else because of the trees, but we're looking right across the valley now, and there's a church in the distance. I don't know if you can see that. That's Twyford. And Twyford is another village which we're going to be having a look at in this series at some point. The three villages, Twyford, Shawford and Compton, sort of span the valley, with Shawford being in the middle by the river, Twyford being up on the east side, and Compton being on the west side. Although they're very close together, they've got very different individual characters. So keep an eye out for the others coming along. Don't know how long it'll be. I've got to get my breath back first. So anyway, not a bad view from up here. You can find these monuments in many villages in the country, in remembrance of those that gave their lives in the First and Second World War. And yeah, it's fitting that we remember them for all the sacrifices that they've given, so that we can walk about on hills and valleys like this freely.